All right, I'm back. We in Isaiah the 53rd chapter. Just talk about Mashiach Yahushua. Prophesying about him. Isaiah prophesied about him when he come on the earth. And look at Isaiah 53 and 6. It say, all we like sheep. And we know we define the sheep, 12 tribes of Israel. All we like sheep, you know. We like sheep, y'all. There's 12 tribes of Israel. We like sheep. All of us like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. You hear that? And that's why it tells you in Jeremiah 17:9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things. That's the way you think. The heart is your mind, the way you think. And desperately wicked, who can know it? The Most High know it. Look at verse 5. It says, thus said the Most High, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Most High. Because man have you to say, trust your own heart. Right? Today. Say, trust your own mind, the way you think. Do how you feel. If feel good, do it. Whatever. Don't worry about any repercussion behind it. That's why man told you what? The Most High loved the sinner and he hate the sin. Get out of here. We just read. The Most High hate the sinner. But they tell you that he loved the sinner. That's following a man's heart, a man's mind. A man's mind told you to say that, told you to believe that, and you believed it. That's your own way. You know, follow your own mind. Do whatever you want to do. No rules and regulations, but you got rules and regulations when it comes down to this system. Because you say, follow the law of the land. You got to follow their laws, their statutes and commandments, but you ain't got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You better understand, boy, something wrong with that picture. What do you think gonna be judged on? Going back to Isaiah 53rd chapter. Verse 6, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. Mashiach said, St. John 14 and 6. He said, Mashiach answered, I am the way. But everybody turned to their own way. But he said, I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is the laws of the Most High. Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So he the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is the laws of the Most High, which he did not break. That's going to lead to everlasting life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. And that's in the New Testament. There's no New Testament. There's only the law and the prophets when he walked the earth. So prove that he was reading Revelations. I ain't getting no comments from y'all, but y'all be talking about the New Testament ain't right, this ain't valid, this, that. All he had was the law and the prophets. Now, if you can't go to vouch for what he's saying or whatever he's saying when he's on the earth, to vouch, to give an understanding of what he had to go by when he stood up and he read or he gave some understanding from the law and the prophets, that's all he had was this Old Testament that we in right now, Isaiah 53rd chapter, prophesying about him, then you need to sit down somewhere and learn. Shut up. And learn. Just like all of us had to shut up and sit down and learn. You got to do the same thing. Verse 6, Isaiah the 53rd chapter. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. Follow your own heart. Follow your heart. Follow your mind. And the Most High have laid on him. That him is a Mashiach Yahushua, the iniquity of us all. The wickedness of us all. He was oppressed. This love. But you ain't gonna feel it if you don't really love him. But you say you love him, but you really don't love him. You can't feel this. He was oppressed. And he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He didn't say nothing because he knew. Moses and Elijah came in the spirit and told him, it's your time now. Look, they told him. Time for you to go. Time for you to give up your life with these wretched, rebellious Israelites. Who we are, man. Go to Matthew the 17th chapter, verse 1. And after 6 days, the Master Shai taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. They seen him transformed before him into a spiritual realm, like a spirit. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him. Peter, James, and John are seeing this, and then answered Peter and said unto him, Master, that's what should be there. It is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud, which is a chariot of the Most High. When you read Psalms, let me not just quote it, let me go there for you. So I get all excited, you just quote the scripture. Let me go there for you. Psalms 104 and 3. A cloud appeared, right? Psalms 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. So this cloud that came is a chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. And we know that in these clouds, or these chariots, are what? What's in the clouds? What's in the chariots? Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots are these clouds that they see. That cloud is a cloud, but these are chariots, just many chariots. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels, okay? So now, Matthew 17 and 5. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud, a bright chariot overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So, understanding what we just read, an angel is in the cloud bringing forth the words of the Most High. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were so afraid. But y'all don't have to fear the Most High, huh? You ain't gonna be scared. You're not gonna be afraid of the Most High. And when the disciples heard it, when they heard this voice, they fell on their face and were so afraid. They became fearful. And the Master came and touched them and said, Arise, come, Achtung, rise, Achtung, rise, brothers, and be not afraid. See? Be not afraid. Don't have that fear. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save except the Master only. And as they came down from the mountain, the Master charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man. See, it's a vision. Tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. See? And that's what they told him. That was his time to die for the 12 tribes of Israel's sins. He came and gave him that message. He says, and his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? Well, they're looking at Elijah right there. But let me make sure that you understand. Hold that. Let's go back to Job 33 and 14. So it says, Job 33 and 14 says, For the Most High speaketh once, twice, yet man perceive it not. That's why some things have to be repeated over and over again, and then boom, you get it. You know? Because the Most High speak once, yea, twice, man perceive it not. He said, in a dream, this is how he communicate with us. In a dream, in a vision of the night, just like they just seen a vision. When deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. While you sleep. Say, what you dream? I don't know what you dream. I don't know, I have no dream, but Most High sealeth your instruction while you sleep. That he may withdraw man from his purpose, from the things you want to do, and hide pride from man. See? He hide pride from man. Man will be wanting to do whatever he want to do. Most High got a direction that he wants to take you, that you go out to follow, and you have no choice but to do it. Say, well, I'll do that. Most High had you do it. That's why he said, look, now he's just coming from the mountain and dealing with this vision that Peter, John, and James seen. And verse 10 of Matthew the 17th chapter says, and the disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? And the Master said, answered and said unto them, Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elijah is come already. Say, Elijah is come already. And they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise, just like they're going to do to Elijah when he come, he said they already have come and they've done what it is that they done to Elijah that came. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Who's the them? We're going to find out. When he say, then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. They cut John the Baptist's head off. The so-called white man. For what it is that this cat's wife asking her daughter as she danced for the king what she desired. And his wife said, tell the king John the Baptist's head. So the Romans cut his head off. That's why Mashiach said, likewise, in verse 12, shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. The Romans, the so-called white man, so-called Italian Caucasians, killed them. Okay? Going back to Isaiah 53rd chapter. Verse 6 again. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And the Most High have laid on him the iniquity of us all. That us is the 12 tribes of Israel. He was oppressed and he was afflicted. Yet he opened out his mouth. He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter. And as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he opened out his mouth. That's why when you look at I believe it's go to John the 1st chapter in verse 45, I believe it is. Yeah. St. John 1st chapter verse 45, it says, Philip findeth Nathanael and said unto him, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write, the Mashiach of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. See? It's another passage I was looking for, where it says, the Lamb of the Most High. Um, anyway, I'll find it. Anyway, let's go back. When it says, okay, let me see. Isaiah 53:8. It said, he was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. He was cut off out of the land of Israel. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. See it? For the transgression of my people was he stricken. My people, who are who? The 12 tribes of Israel. It said, and he made his grave with the wicked. Remember, it's between, in between two criminals, and with the rich in his death. Remember, the rich man came to beg pardon for the body, because he had done no violence. He was innocent. Neither was any deceit in his mouth. See? This is what it says. This love for us. As it is written, Jacob have I loved. That's why he's saying. Verse 8, says, he was cut out of the land of the living, for the transgression of my people was he stricken. That's love for the Most High's people. That he gave us only begotten son who he created first as an angel, who's back on the right hand side of the Most High. Because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth, yet it pleased the Most High, verse 10, to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul, that's his body, an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, and he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Most High shall prosper in his hand. Man, that's love. That's true love. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. The Most High is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, y'all. He said, this is my name forever and immortal to all generations. So it don't go no further than that. If you're not of the 12 tribes of Israel, he's not your power. Sorry to tell you, but hey, Exodus 3:15, Mashiach told you, he identified the Most High as the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What you gonna do about it? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is known facts, but people want to try and, bring everybody, and they get crazy. They go crazy whenever you show them the truth. They can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. It's sad, but it's real. Because this Bible is talking about us. We the 12 tribes of Israel. Look, this is what it's all about. But we can find some other way to justify what it is that we don't know and try to make it like we do know, and we don't. Matthew, the 22nd verse and the 31st chapter. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye, this is Mashiach speaking too. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, is Matthew 22:31. Have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by the Most High, saying, have you not read, it has been said, it is written, have ye not heard, All that's in the law and the prophets. That's all he had to go by. Like I'm telling y'all, he say, I am the power of Abraham and the power of Isaac and the power of Jacob. So how you get any other nation out of that? Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Point blank. That's him saying that. Tell your pastor to break that down and tell him that he's the power of the Gentiles, of these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. His name was changed to Israel, and we became the Israelites. It says Most High is not the power of the dead, but of the living. Right there. In the New Testament that they believe in. I tell you, the Old Testament been done away with pretty much. They just use it for what they need. Well, a man robbed God for them tithes or whatever they want that. They're gonna go to Malachi and Haggai. They're gonna go to there. They're gonna go there then for them tithes. They're gonna go to that law, right? Look, Acts 3:13. The power of Abraham. This is the name of the Most High. Power of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob. The power of our fathers. See? Let's go. Let me prove it because I said it. Let me make sure I understand. First of all, 5:21 says prove all things. Let's prove it. Go to Exodus, the 3rd chapter. We're going to read the 15th verse. Well, we ain't got to go there. He identified himself before that in Exodus 3. Let me find it. I know I've seen it. Oh, here it is. Exodus 3:6. It said, moreover, he said, through the angel of the Most High that always speak to us, that's the spirit of the Most High always speaking to us, which is the same spirit that created everything, which spirit is of Mashiach Yahushua. It says, verse 6, and moreover he said, I am the power of thy father. Again, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the angel of the Most High that's bringing forth that word. Now, Exodus 3:15 says, and the Most High said, moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High power of your fathers. Again, the same thing over and over again. We was in the New Testament, this is what they're going by, what they had to go by. The only thing they had to go by was the law and the prophets. That's why I say, when y'all talk about the New Testament is not valid, you better be able to take the New Testament and go to the Old Testament, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, back and forth, precept back and forth, to prove that it's not valid. This is all they had to go by, was the law and the prophets. And when you understand that, it'll help you to be able to understand more of what it was that's bringing forth in the New Testament from the Old Testament. This is what it said. The Most High, Mashiach just said, the Most High, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of your fathers, right? And the Most High said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. He the power of Abraham, power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. He became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what the Most High said. This is his name forever, and a memorial to all generations, including today. So let's see what he said in verse 16. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, because every tribe had elders that were over the tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel, and say unto them, the Most High power of your fathers. Like we read, Job 33:14, the Most High is speaking once, yea, twice, man, perceive it not. How many times he's saying this? Maybe one time he said it will come into your, click into your mind. What, the Most High not the power of every nation? He's only the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He just said, that's my name forever, and a memorial to all generations. So now he said in verse 16, go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. So there it is again. So when you talk about John 3:16, you can go right there and describe who the Most High say is. Are you part of the 12 tribes of Israel? No, well, he ain't talking about you. It ain't got nothing to do. That's a conversation anyway between Nicodemus, who was the tribe of Judah, and Mashiach Shai, the tribe of Judah. Hebrews 7:14. For it is evident of fact that our power sprang out of Judah. Mashiach Shai came out of the tribe of Judah, our forefather Jacob's fourth-born son. Come on. How you get everybody out of that? You can't. No way. Now, let's go to Proverbs 15:1. Proverbs 15:1. I digress. Proverbs 15:1. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words, brothers, stir up anger. You see? So it say a soft answer turneth away wrath. So that's why you got to know spirits to know when it's time to bring forth a soft answer, to turn away the wrath. But grievous words stir up anger. You see? Because our people, they don't know. So sometimes they need a soft answer to turn away the wrath. Depends on what it is, because now it's a balance to everything. Because he also says in Isaiah 58:1, he said, cry aloud, spare not, don't spare nobody's feelings. He said, lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression in the house of Jacob, the family of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, their sins. You see? So that's why I say. But sometimes it tells you in Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. It say the tongue, that's your language, how you speaking, of the wise uses knowledge. So the tongue of the wise gonna use knowledge, because you fear the Most High. Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. So the tongue of the wise uses knowledge the right way. But the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. They just regurgitating whatever they done heard somebody say. Turn to your neighbor and say this. Turn to your neighbor and say that. So therefore they program your mind all the way from slavery, for the religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America from 1619 to now, doing the same exact things. But remember, verse 3 said, the eyes of the Most High, which are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and even the secret parts, are in every place. So ain't nowhere you're going to be that the Most High is not there. Because where can you go that whenever, I don't care if you go 50, 11 miles down in the earth, when you come up, you got still the sky over that earth. The eyes of the Most High are in every place. He's right there. Beholding the evil and the good. You hear that? The eyes of the Most High is in every place, beholding the evil and the good. See, a wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breath, is a breach in the spirit. So, look at Zechariah the 7th chapter, and we're going to look at the 9th verse. Zechariah 7:9. Well, let's look at 8. And the word of the Most High came unto Zechariah, saying, so this is the word of the Most High. Thus speaketh the Most High power of hosts, saying, execute true judgment, and show mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve, and compassions every man to his brother, as the Israelites. And oppress not the widow, those women that have lost their husbands in death, nor the fatherless, those that do not have a father. Their father have died. The stranger that's an Israelite, come among us, nor the poor. Say, nor the poor. And let none of you imagine evil against his brother. Hear that? Don't imagine evil against your brother. In your heart, in your mind. That's why you can say, we done went through this. Say, let not the sun come down upon your wrath. Man, you got to let it go. And he told you the procedure and how you deal with your brother. Go to your brother alone. If he hear you, you know, you won your brother. If not, then take 2 or 3 witnesses with you. If you don't hear them, then you could tell it to social media and everybody, to the church. So we the church, the people of the church, 12 tribes of Israel. But see, it's a difference when you deal with an elder. Let me give you some understanding on that. Go to 1 Timothy 5, and we're going to look at verse 1. 1 Timothy 5 and 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity. Look at verse 17. 1 Timothy 5:17. Let the elders, and the elder is brothers that's 51 years and older, because the ministry is from 30 to 50. When you read Numbers, the 4th chapter, and the elders are those that are 51 and over. So 1 Timothy 5:17 says, let the elders that are 51 years old and older, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. Labor in this word and the doctrine to bring forth this truth. Verse 19. There's a difference for an elder and someone that's not an elder. Against an elder, receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. So for an elder, you got to bring 2 or 3 witnesses. It say, them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also may fear. See? So, because you know, we went to Matthew 18:15 telling you previously how you deal with your brother, but not an elder in the same way. Elder, you got to bring 2 or 3 witnesses. Because by the time you deal with 2 or 3 witnesses, they might, you know, figure that you could be doing something wrong. Because you have to deal with these scriptures when you come before the elder. Trust that and believe that. So let's go back to Zechariah, 17th chapter, 7th chapter. Where was that? Let's continue. Let's read verse 10. Zechariah 7 and 10. And oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. And let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Don't imagine evil in your mind, man. That take energy. You know, I don't have no time to be imagining evil against a brother when you could be looking at what's righteous to bear to make it to the kingdom. All that we got to learn. We know in part and prophesying part. All that we have to learn really in what this Bible is talking about from Genesis to Revelation, everything in between. You ain't got time to be dealing with that unless you just wicked. Listen, but they refuse to hearken. See, here go wicked Israelites. But they refuse to listen and pulled away the shoulder. I ain't got to hear that. Like some of y'all probably doing that. You're probably turn it off. Don't want to hear it. Pulled away the shoulder. Get on out of here. I don't want to hear that. And stop their ears. Put their hands on their ears that they should not hear. Yeah. They made their hearts, their minds as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law. Hear that? You hearing the law of the Most High. You going, ain't no nothing that he said Think about doing this and you could do it. Maybe you could do it, maybe you don't have to. That ain't in the Bible. You hearing the law. If not, inquire, comment, make a comment. If you don't understand, hey, maybe you need more. But you hear, ain't no maybe you could do this, ain't no maybe or try and do this or probably. That ain't in the Bible. That ain't talking about that. He said, look, yea, yeah, they made their hearts as an adamant stone. Adamant stone, hard as ever. That's why I call you hard-hearted. Lest they should hear the law and the words which the Most High power of hosts, power of armies of angels, have sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Most High of hosts. Therefore came a great wrath from the Most High power of angels that are here on this earth, ready for the commandment of the Most High to bring his vengeance, to bring his wrath upon those that will not hear the spirit that he's brought forth, the angel that he's brought forth, the angels that he's brought forth. Some are right here on the earth created for vengeance, to bring the wrath of the Most High. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, as the Most High cried, y'all, man, y'all ain't feeling this. You better. See, some of y'all so prideful. That you ain't understanding, man. And some of y'all hope will feel this, man. He said, therefore, verse Zechariah 7 and 13, put a big circle around this, y'all. He said, therefore it is come to pass that as he cried, as the Most High cried, as the Most High cried, y'all, and they would not hear. He cried, and we didn't hear. So they cried. The they is the 12 tribes of Israel. They cried, and I would not hear, said the Most High power of hosts. I want you to meditate on that for just a minute. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried, the Most High cried. The Most High cried. The Most High cried. And they would not hear. We wouldn't even want to hear. So they cried, and I would not hear, said the Most High power of hosts. That's what he said. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them. And that land over there is desolate, y'all. Beautiful land. Ain't nothing growing on it. It's desolate for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through nor returned. For they laid the pleasant land desolate. See, that's why he told us, man. I can't go here enough. But one day you're going to hear. And you're going to change your way of thinking. That's why I had you meditate on just feeling the Most High cry. I tell people that, oh, where's that? I ain't never seen that in the scripture. A lot of things you ain't seen in the scripture. A lot of things I ain't seen in the scripture. A lot of things is a review. But I don't mind going over it and over and over and over and over again, because somebody can hear it for the first time and they can change. Proverbs 1:24. Because I called and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. He cried. Like he said, I cried. He said, I stretched out my hand, and his hand is men as myself and others as crying aloud to the people. Feeling this, man. Psalm 17:14. Say he stretched off his hand, right? And no man regarded. Psalm 17:14. From men which are thy hand. From men which are thy hand, O Most High. From men of the world of Israel, which had their portion in this life. So now, when you see here in Proverbs 1:24, because I have called and you refused. He called. He said he cried. He said he called and you refused. He cried and you refused. He said he called and you refused. He said, I have stretched out my hand, which are the men of the Most High, as I am, and others, other men, and no man regarded. He said, but ye have said at naught all my counsel. This is a counsel of the Most High, as you hear precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. What we talking about? As it is written, Jacob have I loved. But ye have said at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. He say, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. You ain't fearing the Most High. You ain't talking about the Most High. You got nothing to say about the Mashiach Yahushua. He said, I'm going to mock when your fear cometh. When you get scared, when he bring that tornado, he bring that hurricane, he bring that storm, he bring that earthquake, you get scared. He say, I'm going to mock when your fear cometh. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, he said. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, as we just read. When distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me. But I will not answer. That's deep, y'all. Then you're going to cry to the Most High. He said, but I ain't listening to you. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say. I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge. First and foremost, verse 7 says, hey, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. The fear of the Most High, to be afraid, to be scared of the Most High, to highly respect him, to do what he say do, is the beginning of knowledge. But fools, he call you a fool. Despise wisdom, which is proper application of knowledge, how you apply this knowledge that you're getting in your life. And instruction, you've been instructed. Don't they say Bible mean basic instruction before leaving earth? Whether you leave up out of here dead or you leave up here in them chariots of the Most High. One way or the other. Listen to what he said. Verse 27, the Proverbs, the first chapter. When your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge, and they did not choose the fear of the Most High. They were none of my counsel. This is the counsel of the Most High, that he using men as his hand to bring forth. But that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Most High, they were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. You want to follow your own way? See if your own way going to lead you to the kingdom. Or it's going to stop the Most High from mocking and laughing at you and bringing the desolation and the calamity that he said he's going to bring on this earth. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. That's serious, y'all. Go back to Zechariah, 7th chapter. This, verse 13. He said, therefore it is come to pass that as he cried, the Most High cried, y'all, and they would not hear, as we just read and been reading. So they cried, and I would not hear, said the Most High Power of hosts. But I scattered them with the whirlwind among all the nations, whom they knew not. Thus the land was desolate after them, that no man passed through, nor to return. For they laid the pleasant land desolate. That's why you look at in 70 AD, when we fell in the land of Israel, Mashiach warned us. And he told us in Luke 21 and 20, he said, and when you shall see Jerusalem, Luke 21 and 20 said, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, that's the Roman armies, the so-called white man's armies, the superpower of the earth, the Romans, so-called Italian, Caucasian armies, didn't know that the desolation thereof is nigh. This is from 65 AD to 70 AD, approximately. Say, let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. That's when we fled into Africa. And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Don't come back inside. If you in the midst of Jerusalem, he said, get out. He said, flee into Africa. And let not them that are in the countries enter therein. Don't come back inside. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Like when you read Psalms, the 79th chapter. We're not going to go there today. That's what happened. You want to know what happened? Read Psalms, the 79th chapter. Like I say, it's no New Testament. It's only the law and the prophets. What do you say? For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written where? In Revelations, in the book of 1 Peter, 2 Peter, James, Paul's writings. Paul ain't even on the scene yet. His name is Saul. He'll against anybody that come with the name of the Lord and Savior as Saul. So he ain't even on the scene, point blank. So a lot of you don't even realize what this Bible's talking about. He said, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Hold that. That's why he said in Matthew 11:11. But I ask somebody, man, it's sad that our people are lost as they are and don't care. But then, you think about that multitude that's born in vain. What can you say? He said, Matthew 11:11, he said, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of woman, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Remember, John the Baptist, my Shabbat cousin, came before him. The so-called white man cut his head off. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he, right? And from the days of John the Baptist until now, listen to what he's saying. Shabbat said, from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. We the kingdom of heaven, the 12 tribes of Israel, suffering violence. Listen to what it says, and the violent take it by force. So he called the so-called white man the violent, take it by force, because they're the ones that destroyed us. When he's saying in Luke 21 and 20, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, that's the Roman armies, the so-called white man's army, the so-called Italian Caucasian, who was the superpower of the earth, where the Hamashiach walked the earth. When you see these Roman armies compassing Jerusalem, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Just what you read in Psalm the 79th chapter is getting ready to happen. We fought from 65 AD to approximately 70 AD. Some say beyond that, but all I know is this. The Romans, the so-called white men, came in and took down the 12 tribes of Israel that was there and stole everything out of the temple, all the riches and everything. They got rich once they brought us down. That's when the land became desolate. Listen. Verse 22, for these be the days of vengeance. Remember it said, this kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written where? In the Old Testament, that's all he had to go by, may be fulfilled. That's in Psalm 79th chapter. But woe unto them that are with child, a woman that's carrying a child. And to them that give suck, those that have little babies. In those days, the days that we're going to be fighting against the Romans in their legions, as they call them, their armies. But there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Wrath upon the people, mainly Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and all the other tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel that were joined with Judah, Benjamin, and Levi at the time that Mashiach walked the earth. He said, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, upon us. Listen to what it says. And they shall fall by the sword, fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And shall be led away captive into all nations. Fulfilling scriptures, fulfilling prophecy. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, as you see today. How long? Until the times of the Gentiles, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, be fulfilled. See? There it is. Proverbs 16 and 11. Remember, we're looking at, as it is written, Jacob have I loved. It says, let's look at Proverbs 16 and 8. Let's see, verse 7. I love this one. When a man's ways please the Most High, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Hear that? When a man's ways please the Most High, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Y'all understand this spiritually. Well, a lot of people be going through a lot because they're not really pleasing the Most High. But when your ways please the